Okay, if you're watching this, you're probably someone who's super ambitious, right? You have all these goals, all these desires. You made all these New Year's resolutions, right? But you're just too lazy to complete them, right? Or maybe you've just given up altogether, right? And a lot of people fit into this category, right? Like there's literally a statistic that says that 80% of people already given up on their New Year's resolutions, right? By the first 2 weeks, 80% of people already gave up, right? And I think it said that 6% of people, I think it was on Forbes or something, it said 6% of people stick to the New Year's resolutions for more than a year, right? That's a small percentage, right? So that leaves us with the 1%, the ones that actually do what they say they're gonna do, the ones that go through with their goals, right? You gotta realize the difference between those 88% and the 6%, or even like the 1%, is the consistency. And I know it's gonna sound cliche, but like the key to reaching your New Year's resolutions and goals in general, in terms of fitness or finance, whatever the case may be, like your whole self-improvement, it comes down to consistency, right? And from my own personal experience, I feel like consistency is key. Like I went from 150 pounds to 200 pounds in like 3-4 years, right? Like when I was back like 5 years ago, when I was like 19 years old, first started on my fitness journey, I didn't think it was possible to bench 225. I didn't think it was possible to do a muscle up, right? I didn't think it was possible to do 10 pull-ups for 3 reps. I didn't think it was possible to do dips, right? The things that I thought that were impossible 6 years ago are now a current reality for me, right? Like 19-year-old me would go crazy if he knew that I could do muscle ups, right? By the way, if you need help doing a muscle up or putting on muscle or putting on size, hit the link in the description. I'm the guy for that. I can help you with that, and we'll see if it makes sense to work together. A little shameless plug for those of you guys that need it, right? But the point I'm going with this is that I didn't achieve these things by just like, wishing and hoping and having all these big ambitious goals and desires. Like, yes, the visualization aspect to it and, believing you can do it is key, but you actually got to do the thing. You have to do the actions, right? The actions that lead up to it, right? And I get it. It's tough. It's not easy. Even till this day, I still struggle, bro. Like 3rd week of January, I was already feeling like shit, bro. Like I can't, I was already feeling like I wanted to give up. I wanted to quit. I was like, bro, I can't do this shit. I wrote all this shit down, but I can't do it. It's hard, right? Especially, when it's cold out and you don't really want to do it. It's tough, right? You still have to second guess yourself, but then you have to remember that's where the rest of the 88% is thinking, right? So if you want to be in that 6%, if you want to be in that 1%, you have to do the opposite of what the 88% is doing, right? The rest, everybody, their average person, their average 88%, what they're doing is they're complaining, they're crying, they're bitching, they're moaning about the weather, they're bitching and moaning about how hard their goals is. It wasn't as easy as they thought it was gonna be, right? But nobody said it was gonna be easy. So that's where the 1%, the 6% come in, right? Is they feel the exact same feelings that the 88% is feeling, right? But they continue to do the tasks, they continue to do the things that they set out to do, despite how they feel, right? And it's easier said than done, but that's what it takes. If you want to be in that 1%, that 6% tile of people, you have to be able to do things that no one else wants to do. You have to be consistent. And that sounds so cliche, but I'm telling you, consistency is so key. Like, I literally witnessed it in my entire life. Like, I didn't think I would be able to do a muscle up. I thought muscle ups were impossible. I thought you would have to be some genetic freak to do a muscle up like 5 years ago. Now I'm doing muscle ups, bro. I'm benching 225. I thought that was insane. To bench your own body weight, to bench over your own body weight, I thought that was insane. But now I'm doing that, right? Like 5 years ago, I would have thought that was impossible. You know what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make with all this is that if you want to make your goals a reality, if you want to do like things that you think are impossible, you literally have to do what the 1% is doing. Don't follow what the rest of the 88% is doing. The majority, the average person in January gives up 2 weeks into January, right? But what if you decided to set yourself apart from the pack, right? Don't let social media fool you. Like, most people are not jacked. Most people are not jacked. Social media might make it seem like everybody's like a fitness influencer, but the reality is, like, if you can like bench 225 and you can do 10 pull-ups, you can do muscle ups, you've already put yourself in that 6% bracket. Like, I've already put myself in the top percentile of human beings through my physique alone, just by consistency, just by being consistent. Because even though it was cold, it was raining, snowing, I still hit the gym, I still practiced it, I still practiced the pull-ups all the time. Even during COVID, when they locked down gyms and stuff, I was still at the parks. I was still at the parks doing the workouts. That's the thing. Another key to consistency is I never let circumstances, I never let roadblocks stop me from where I was gonna go. I always found that's one of the key traits that I think I pride myself on, is I always try to find a way to make it happen, regardless of the obstacles or the things in my way, right? Because, you know, I don't take defeat for an option, right? Like, I always find a way to overcome it, right? And that's how you gotta approach your life as well, right? And I'm not perfect with this either. Like, I'm still having to overcome certain things, right? Like, I'm still having to fight through certain things, right? Like, you know, obviously with YouTube, I gotta be more consistent, right? That second, third week of January, I was like, damn, man, like, a part of you wants to quit, a part of you wants to, like, you kind of feel like, for my Matrix fans, I put out a community poll. You kind of feel like you're Neo, that scene in the Matrix where he's about to leave the car and Trinity pulls him back and says, no, you've been down that road and you know exactly where it leads, right? This is this moment right now where you want to give up. You want to give up on all your New Year's resolutions, where you just kind of feel like it's not worth it anymore. That's your Neo moment. Literally your Neo moment telling you, are you gonna quit or are you gonna stay in the car and keep going? Because you've already been down that road. You already know where that road leads. You know where the road leads to, right? Going back to who you used to be. You're not recreating yourself. You're going back to your old self. You hated that version of you, so why would you go back? You might as well stay in the car and see this road through, right? Even though it's hard, right? Even though, like, you feel like there's no point, you're not seeing any progress, you might as well stay on this road because you've already been down that shitty road. You already know where that shit leads. You already know, like, there is no success down that road. Because if you quit your New Year's resolutions right now, if you quit all the goals that you said you were gonna do in 2025, if you just leave them behind, then you go down the road that you already know. You already know where it leads. You don't want to go there. You don't want to be you hated that person. You don't want to be that person anymore. That's why you made those goals, right? So choose to be different. Be different from the 88%. Be a 1% guy and actually do what you say you're going to do, right? Go down a different road and watch. I promise you, 5 to 10 years later down the line, it's a long game. You're going to start to see yourself change. You're going to see yourself recreate yourself, and you're going to be like, wow, like, the things I thought that were impossible 5 years ago are now finally possible, right? But that's all I really had to say for today's video. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that like button, send it out so the algorithm pushes it out and all that good stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, I have one-on-one coaching, link in description if you're interested. And remember, there's nothing lining up about playing small. I'll catch you guys next video. See ya.